Hello everyone, this is Steve Palladino, coach and consultant of Palladino Power Project. I would like to present today a work on this calculator. The calculator's sourced from the Facebook group From One Runner to Another. You can also find it in one of the posts on Palladino Power Project Facebook group. And go ahead and search it out, either one of those groups, and it's a great calculator. I highly encourage it. What I'm going to be doing with this calculator on this video is actually working out a hypothetical scenario. This is a runner who's going to be beginning one of my marathon training programs soon, and the runner messaged me and asked me, is it possible for them to run 250 using my marathon plan? My philosophy is I don't put target times or goal times on my plans, because the philosophy is that your outcome is going to be dependent on where your starting point is, how consistent you're able to train, how well you respond to the training, and how long you train for. Those at a minimum are the variables to consider that determine whether you hit a goal time or not. So I prefer a more test, train, retest, see where how far along you've come, and then train again and pursue it that way. In other words, you can be only as good as you can be. So anyway, the question is, can I get to 250 with this marathon plan? I don't know much about the runner. I don't know their running effectiveness when they run long tempos or long races, half marathons and marathons. I do know their CP, FTP, and I know their weight. That's it. That's all I really know. Plus the can I get to 250? That question. The FTP CP is 310. It was based on a 9-minute, 3-minute test protocol, which is prone to overestimation. So this number may be a little bit problematic, and that it might be slightly overestimated. But for the purposes of this hypothetical, I'm going to assume that it's pretty much on target. The athlete's 70 kilograms. I put in 3 hours into the target time. It's just ballpark that you put here. I put marathon into the distance here. And now let's look at some hypotheticals. So first thing is the Rigel exponent. Now, most runners that are running around 250, 3 hours, their Rigel exponent is going to be somewhere, sometimes as low as minus 0.08, but typically minus 0.09, and less commonly a minus 0.10. I might use minus 0.10 for a 3:30 to 4 hour marathoner as the middle of the bracket range. But anyway, what I did is I used Rigel exponents of minus 0.08, minus 0.09, minus 0.10. And the minus 0.09 is probably the most likely. The next variable is running effectiveness. I don't know. I don't know what this runner is done in tempos and long runs. I don't know what they've done in half marathons and marathons before. I don't know. So this is where the guesswork comes in. So what I did is you can see those 3 Rigel exponents that I'm bracketing, and I repeated them 4 times with 4 different target running effectiveness. So a bracket minus 0.08, minus 0.09, minus 1.10, all with a running effectiveness of 0.98, and then 0.97, 0.96, 0.95. I chose 0.98 because that is, that would be fairly good. This runner may be higher, which would be awesome for this runner. But it's possible that the runner could be lower and could be, minus 0.95. So somewhere in that range, I would think, um, the runner might fall for a actual marathon. Could be higher, could be lower. If it's lower, then it's a sorrier story. If it's higher, then wow, it's pretty good. So let's look at the prediction times using again his current CP, current weight, those Rigel exponent brackets that I talked about, and the running effectiveness. So um, the middle of this range right here, minus 0.09 Rigel with 0.98 running effectiveness, would produce a 302. So that's what ballpark what he might be able to do right now if he has the endurance training, and that's another big factor. You could do all these calculations based on FTP and Rigel exponents, et cetera, et cetera. But if the person hasn't run, a 20-mile run in their training process for the marathon, then throw all those things out the window. So we're assuming that the training is appropriate for the distance, and of course he's choosing one of my plans. So if he follows it, then the plan should prepare him to adequately run a marathon at his target power target time. So back to this example. So you can look, and as we look down on these times here, 0.97 with this Rigel factor here is 304. 0.96 running effectiveness with minus 0.09 Rigel, 306, and then a 0.95 running effectiveness, same Rigel as 308. So currently, he's not running a 250. And that's plain. That's plain to see, and he knows that. So what does he have to do? How fit does he need to get to that 250? So let's go here and try. Let's try a 10-watt increase in CP, and none of those times are down in the 250 range. If he's going to hit 250, he'd have to have a running effectiveness up in the elite range, 1.00 to 1.03. He'd have to have something pretty high. So at 320, he's still not making it. 330, 330. All right. So now what we're seeing is if he's got a really good running effectiveness, again, I don't know, at minus 0.09, and let's say he has really good fatigue resistance, minus 0.08. Those exceed that 250 barrier. Same thing again. If he's got good fatigue resistance, even a 0.97 gets him to the mark. He gets close if it's 0.97, but if he's 0.96, 0.95, not quite going to do it. It's still not getting down there. So if he's got a better running effectiveness, 330 watt CP might put him in the money for that 250. If it's 0.96 and worse, then it's not likely. So let me try one more. I should also add at this point that 330 watts is a 6.5% improvement over his current 310 watt value. So let's go to 340. 340. Now I'm seeing a lot of good numbers down here, all the way down. So if he gets his CP up to 340, then there's a good chance that he gets to 250. I mean, it's a really good chance, even at running effectiveness of 0.95, 0.96, a really good chance that he is going to be able to get that 250. 340 is a 9.5% improvement. 9.5% improvement over his current 310. So, I mentioned that the variables that determine what the outcome is what your current fitness is, which we know, the compliance with the plan, meaning consistency, lack of injury. Um, the third one is responsiveness. Responsiveness is variable from individual to individual. Um, and of course, in a marathon, it's having the right day too. Meaning, the weather. If the weather is bad, or he chooses a hilly course, then that could be a problem. So, um, what I'm looking at is 6.5% improvement. The plans are 17 weeks long. 6.5% improvement is possible. So that is, it's possible you can get that low. 9.5% improvement in a 17-week period. That would mean that's not likely. What that would mean is that the runner would have to be very responsive to getting into a structured training program and hitting all the targets and so forth, and is responding really exceptionally well. So I would, and I'm going to respond to this runner, that 250 is a stretch, unless you've got a really good running effectiveness, 0.97 to 0.98, which then you can get it with a 6.5% improvement. But if the running effectiveness is on the more poor side, below 0.96, then it's entirely dependent on responsiveness, um, and frankly, the likelihood is not high. So anyway, this video gives you an example of how to work out through some hypotheticals whether a target time is possible. Again, the calculator is from one runner to another Facebook group, and take a look at it, play with it. It can be enlightening and definitely can be uh, uh, very helpful in your race planning. So, thank you for watching, and hopefully this was beneficial for you. Bye-bye.